What's going on, guys? Welcome back to review and discussion for UnOrdinary. This week, we're talking about episode 267. Now, first things first, wait, is it 267 or 268? I might be tripping right now. What episode is this? What episode are we on? I'm a fraud, you guys. I can't keep track of all these chapters. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So episode 268, my bad. Episode 268. Okay. This episode's not the best. It's not the worst though. It's not, honestly. This episode sets up like a few cool things. So, right off the bat, yeah, Uru's trying to tell us like, sad Terrence backstory. I don't care. I honestly don't care. I know I'm a terrible person. I know, like, what happened to Terrence's mom is unacceptable. It's not okay. It just shows, like, how messed up the society in UnOrdinary really is. Yeah, what happened to Terrence's mom, like, that's not okay. What she went through is not okay. Terrence having, an abusive childhood, though, because of his mom. That's sad. I don't care though. Like, don't show me all the horrible things that this person has done and then show me their sad backstory, expecting me to feel sorry for them. Yeah, I do not feel sorry for Terrence. No. Well, no. I don't care about Terrence. Like, yeah, no. I feel sorry for Terrence. I feel sorry for the things he went through. But say what you will about John. Terrence is worse. Terrence is actually worse. Like, John messed up. He's acknowledging that. And, he's moving past it. Terrence still holds that hatred for no reason. Yeah, and, Terrence is okay with murdering people. John has never crossed that line. So, yeah. Fuck Terrence still. Keon, on the other hand, is just a piece of shit. Honestly, like, I did used to think, like, Keon is definitely, like, a piece of shit, but he's probably not that bad. He probably has his limits. And, like, I honestly do think Uru, if intentional, Uru does a good point to, like, show us, like, no, Keon is just an asshole. Like, Keon is, like, kind of not really, doesn't really have many redeeming features. Now, I say this because even after he is, like, going through Terrence's whole backstory, like, basically. Also, side note, what I want to know is, like, is Keon seeing the memories and then, like, hearing Terrence's thoughts? I just thought it was kind of weird, like, how I thought about it. Like Terrence is like, like, we're going through Terrence's memories. He's clearly telling us what his story is. But I wonder, like, is he, like, trying to, like, tell Keon as well? Like, try and get sympathy points or whatever. So, yeah. I just thought that was weird. But he's going through Terrence's whole backstory. Then again, no. Keon should definitely know what happened to his mom. Point is, even after seeing, like, everything that Terrence has gone through, all he really says to him is his weak mother didn't raise him properly. And that's just kind of awful. Like, that's just, like, bad. That's just, like, really bad. And again, like, like, Keon doesn't really have the track record of being a nice guy, so to speak. So it makes sense. But, like, I honestly did think, like, even Keon, like, still had his limits. I thought Keon, like, wouldn't, like, be too bad compared to people like Valerie. I think Valerie is the worst. But maybe Keon and Valerie are the same. I still quick side note, I still think that Keon does not know what's going on with Ember. I still think that, like, Keon is not aware of that side of the authorities. I could be wrong, but who knows? And actually, now that I think about it, well, no, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say it's not okay. What I was gonna say is the reason why Keon may not have gone to confront Vaughn himself, as opposed to just Cassandra going, might be because he's busy with Terrence right now, but that could be completely unrelated. Because Cassandra was supposed to come check in with Blake, Remy, and Ison. But in Terrence's memories, anyway, Keon is just an abusive asshole. We already knew that, but more confirmation of that. Just kind of no, Keon's just a prick. He's despicable. So there's that. We do get to see Oren's face revealed, and I'm gonna be honest, I think he looks a lot like Terrence. Now, I think if Uru wanted Terrence out of the story, he would have been gone by now. I don't think that this is the last time we're going to be seeing Terrence. I think the reveal is going to be that Oren is Terrence's father, the man who did that to Terrence's mother. And, I think that's kind of going to be a whole thing. And, that's awful too. But, Ben's his son. When his mom dies, he comes, gets the son, and uses him basically. But I would just prefer that Terrence just be. I would just prefer that he just be gone, because I don't care about him. So, Keon then seeing that Terrence, Keon then starts seeing Terrence's work with Spectre, and he knows that Terrence is deeply involved with Spectre, and he dismisses Terrence, he goes back to his cell and everything, and Keon just reports that he still needs a little bit more time, but he should be able to get. I think he actually said that he was able to get some familiar faces, people that Terrence has interacted with multiple times in Spectre. Some of their weaponry, some of their plans and everything. But he said he'll have a full report by the end of the week. And I definitely still think that what I brought up last week, Keon seeing Sarah in the uniform, seeing Sarah work with Spectre, seeing all that, I definitely still think that he's going to get that information, and that's going to be what leads to Vaughn getting removed as headmaster at Wellston. Because, they may see Sarah in that outfit and everything, and they may think oh my god, Sarah is a vigilante. Oh no. Wait. Is everyone going to be able to stay at Wellston then? Because if the authorities think, and if they have proof that Sarah is a vigilante, or at the very least, Sarah is involved with was involved with a criminal organization on the scale of Spectre, they're definitely going to want to do something about her. So is everyone going to leave Wellston before that can happen? Are they going to be fuck school, fuck everything else, we're taking down Spectre and the authorities? That'd be pretty interesting, actually. Who knows? So, that's that. We're back at Wellston now, after an undisclosed amount of time, as Uru likes doing so. John is in the safe house again. He's asleep, but he checks his phone and gets up to leave. And then Dylan, seeing him about to leave, asks if he can join him. And John's just kind of sure, I guess. It's cute. So, as they're walking down the halls, Dylan asks John if he would teach the safe house self-defense. He's hey, John, you're pretty good at, self-defense, right? You're a hand-to-hand combat master. And John's just kind of it's kind of an overstatement. Which, honestly, it probably honestly is. But I think it is, a well-known fact. John is the best hand-to-hand fighter in the series alone. When it comes down to it, John can throw them hands. Boom, 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 boom. So, anyway. He asked John if John would be willing to teach the members of the safe house, because it would be really good to get some pointers for him. And John doesn't necessarily say no. He just says we'll see. And that's like a big thing, honestly, because it's another thing kind of coming full circle from way back when. This is something that Sarah wanted John to do so long ago, where she asked him, like, hey, like, my friends want to learn self-defense. Like, you should teach them. Like, you should come hang out with us and teach them. And John, you know, back when he was in the Joker phase, was just kind of like, no, I don't know about that. Like, they're your friends, you know, like, and, you know, I have this reputation about me and everything. But, you know, I think it'd be really cool. And I think John definitely should teach people how to, you know, use self-defense. I think for people like Remy, it'd especially be really good because Remy doesn't necessarily know how to fight. As far as I can remember, like, Remy's not a bad fighter in, like, in any circumstance. Like, I'm not saying that. Remy is the queen of Wellston after all. But I'm pretty sure that, like, her main fighting style is just relying solely on her electricity. Like, she could have gotten a few clean shots at John during their fights and everything, but all she really did was, like, you know, just electrocute people. That's all she really does. And, you know, who knows, like, maybe even learning self-defense for a lot of the Safe House members could result in some level ups for them as well. That'd be cool. Now, granted, I don't think, like, that's going to be a big focus, but I definitely do think, like, maybe that is something that we will see happen. So, as they're walking, Zeke shows up. And I honestly don't know why we're even bothering with Zeke anymore. It's kind of just annoying at this point. Like, Zeke knows that John doesn't like him. Zeke knows that John doesn't care about him. So I don't get, I get it. It's his character. Like, you know, he's a kiss ass and all that. It's just annoying because, like, he knows people don't like him. He doesn't bother with people who don't like him anymore. He can't save face anymore. So what's the point? Now, I'll tell you what the point probably is. I guarantee you at some point Zeke is going to find out about John's ability and try to get revenge. And he might honestly get some revenge before someone steps in, if they can step in at all. And then, you know, after John gets his ability back again, Zeke will be like, you know, Zeke's going to try something, and then John just going to glow his eyes, and Zeke's just going to be like, don't hurt me. But anyway, so yeah, Zeke shows up. He does, like, you know, say hi to John, like, John, my best friend, like, what's going on? And then he notices Dylan, and then he starts to mess with Dylan again. And it seems like it. I'm not sure if this was intentional. Well, I'm not sure if, like, this was, like, showing John trying to, but nothing happened, or if it was just Uru showing us nothing's happening with John. But everything kind of, like, grays out for a second, and, like, everything is kind of, like, outlined. And we see that everything is just kind of blank around John. You know, clearly showing, like, I think he's trying to feel his aura again, to, like, you know, sense Zeke's ability. But he clearly can't. And he clearly can't. And everything just kind of goes back to normal. But clearly Zeke doesn't know something's up with John. And I honestly thought he might pick up on something. Like I said, Uru makes it a detail to, like, makes it a point to show when, like, someone notices something. So, John just kind of, like, grabs Zeke's hand and is like, back off, like, get lost. And, you know, Zeke, being a little bitch, is like, I was just joking, like, don't get too serious, bro. And then he's like, fine, I'll leave. And, like, the reason why I thought Zeke would notice something is because John was, like, sweating a little bit. Like, you know, there was, like, a little nervous bead of sweat, and, like, then Zeke was like, fine. So, yeah, I thought Zeke might take note of that and, like, you know, try again later, but who knows. So, after that confrontation, John meets up with Sarah, and again, like, this kind of, like, you know, bothers me a little bit, like, this next part, but I do think the chapter ends on a pretty high note. So, John meets up with Sarah on the roof, and John is clearly hung up about not having his ability. And Sarah tells him that she felt the same when she was disabled. And she says, when things do disappear, you're given a new perspective. John also notes that even back when he was posing as cripple, he was still able to sense with his aura to know, like, when something was coming. And he, you know, clearly he can't feel it at all now. Now, again, it's just repeating Sarah's cripple arc. It's just getting really annoying at this point, honestly. Like, you know, it like I've said before, I I don't care about this. Like, we don't need this anymore. You know, that's just me though. That's just me. So there's that. John then asks Sarah if she was able to get into contact with Spectre, and Sarah says that she's barely been able to speak with Layla, and John comments that Sarah is indeed abilityless at the moment. So that was a pretty nice conversation. Like, you know, like I said, Uru hasn't really done much with, like, you know, Sarah needing the ability recovery machine. The last few chapters kind of, like, you know, made it seem like she didn't need it. There weren't really any side effects to her clearly overexerting herself back in Rowden, but Sarah doesn't have her ability for the time being, and, you know, she does need to get, like, you know, charged up and everything. So Sarah then says that she is just for now, and she'll have access to the recovery device one last time. And Uru does give us another little nice nod, and John, a nice little confirmation. John asks how that will help, since the effects only last for about a week. So confirmation on that is nice. Thanks a lot, Uru. That was really cool. And also it was just nice to, like, you know, have Uru acknowledge that no, Sarah does still need, like, the ability recovery. Like I said, last few chapters I felt kind of, like, especially with the whole Rowden thing, kind of made it seem like, you know, Sarah won't need it anymore, but, you know, nice just confirmation that, like, no, Sarah is still kind of in trouble. But like I said, John says, like, what good is that going to do? Like, your effects only last for about a week. And Sarah just says she's going to take the device. How the fuck is she going to do that? I don't know, but Sarah's got a couple. Two. That's what two means. That's what a couple means, Uru, too. Sarah has a couple ideas in mind. Honestly, I'm excited to see what Sarah's plans are. Like, I think she may, like, you know, try and get the whole crew involved in on this. Like, yo, like, all 6 main characters fucking pulling a heist against Spectre to get the ability recovery device. Yes, please. Or maybe, you know, Doc helps out. Maybe Doc and Layla help out. Maybe can Caden transport devices? I think Caden's going to be majorly involved, actually. Because I have been wondering, like, how are they going, like, maybe her and John, maybe she uses it on John. Her and John use time manipulation, and they, like, you know, like, carry it, like, run away! But if Caden gets involved, they can teleport it somewhere, probably. But where are they going to put it? I highly doubt that they can hide that shit in their fucking... in their dorms. But I am excited, Uru. I am excited to see what tomorrow is going to hold. So honestly, the chapter's not perfect. It's not the best. It isn't the worst. I do have a lot of gripes, like, you know, with the things and choices that Uru made in this chapter. But overall, I would honestly give this episode... I'll give this episode 6.8 out of 10. That might be the low score I've given thus far, actually. No, I think there was a 5. Point is, 6.8 for this episode. It's fairly good. But, you know, that's it for this review and discussion, guys. Honestly, like I said, I'm really excited to see what we're going to be talking about in this next episode. I cannot wait to see what happens. I am here for it. So, that's going to be it, guys. So, hope you enjoyed the review and discussion. As always, see you back tonight, and see you, Space Cowboy.